All right, so we are officially live. Let me bring the volume up there. We are officially live. We are officially live. Although I'm busted and disgusted a little bit. I'm feeling some kind of way because I wanted to do something special for y'all, but it ain't gonna happen this time. Clearly, it ain't gonna happen even though I keep snapping. All right, welcome back. So we good, yeah. All right. So listen, I am also live on YouTube at the moment. For those of you who have the YouTube address, you can join me there. It's a whole different thing. Of course, y'all know that. Yeah. Make sure you guys start running up the likes. Let's get the likes going. I know. I got the music part of it. We good on that. I'm just still a little dejected, but it's all good. Yeah, I mean, but I got to figure something else out. You know what I'm saying, Coffee? Like, I got to figure something else out. It's a work in progress. Normally, these are the times where when I'm not live, I'm on here, you know, sorting stuff out. So everybody got the notifications that we up. But hit the like button, y'all. Run them up. I'll hit these rubber bands on them. That's right. That's what we on, Diana. So we finna get into it, man. And this is for anybody who's joining. Let me do this. Also, when you join on the YouTube channel, make sure that you say hello so I know who's in the room, and use your tag so I know. Pop out the chat, and I can use the chat right there. Let's do this. Yeah, so at least I know who's in the room on my live. Because right now it just shows the people that are in here. It doesn't say who's in here. But yeah, I know, man. We're going to do a real poll, you know what I'm saying, eventually or whatnot. But in the meantime, in between time, go ahead and hit the, it's I See Green 1. I don't know how to pin the doggone comment. I'm going to type it in right now. So it's I See Green 1. So you do YouTube.com. Yeah, we lost it, man. Know me. We did lose it for a second. So last night we got into a conversation I think was really cool. And we were discussing matters of the heart. And I forget what we did or what we said. Scorpio said, "Do you sleep?" Yeah, man, I'm gonna pass out in a little bit. And then I gotta get right back up, right? Cause my people, you know what I'm saying? Cause we talking, you know what I'm saying? Let me see, do we got sound there? We do, but y'all can't hear that. So I need this sound to go. I see what happened. So y'all ain't gonna be able to hear that. Let me stop that. Y'all won't even be able to hear that. I'm gonna go follow you on YouTube. Yep. There you go, Diana. And I hear the comments coming in on the YouTube. Who's that? Vanessa G.A. Redbone. Okay, there you go. I see you. Yeah, when y'all come in the room on YouTube, say your name and you know what I'm saying, and so I know who's who or what not. And then I can read the comments. Let me zoom in and put that over some so I can see it. Let me make that smaller. Right there. Now I can see y'all comments. I feel good about that. Yeah, I've been off and on. I've been sticking and moving, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there are different times that people want to hear a conversation, and, you know, I've been making sure that I've kind of introduced myself to the daily audience, because what you realize is, you know, if we do a room check-in right now, we should have everybody represented, the East Coast, West Coast, and the South. Do a room check-in, city and state, y'all. What up, Sonichi? Yeah. So for YouTube, which is a whole nother experience, like if you go on YouTube and you see what I got set up, it's such a different experience for everybody. The way that I control the room. New York, you from the whole New York, huh? Or you saying New York City? Columbus, Ohio in the building, Los Angeles, yep. I knew my West Coast people being, you know what I mean, after 7 o'clock their time, so that's what's up. Brooklyn, Albuquerque, West Coast Bay Area, up Houston. We get more of the Fifth Ward and the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? The East Coast does check in, but that's just what we get more of, you know what I mean? I see Kim in, what up? And Kim is listen, shout out to Kim. Kim is a member. Show. Let me see. Yep. Everybody. So when you come to my YouTube, make sure you hit the like button so it has a thumbs up by it, and then make sure you subscribe. But I see y'all. It's 8. So you're like in the middle. You're in the mix. St. Petersburg, Florida, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Yep. Over by Ypsilanti and Detroit. I see you in Jamaica. I used to run them streets. I started ACV drink this morning. Didn't even need my coffee. No coffee craving. Casino. That's what's up. I can see the smile on your face. Look at all them exclamation points. And normally, and here's the other thing. Yeah, I know where you at. And it's that's what's up. Hey, what's up, Rose? So I see my people checking in on YouTube. I mean, eventually, just because of, if y'all see if you guys that are joining me now here on TikTok, get a chance to look at how things are set up on my YouTube channel, it's a little more entertaining just in itself, in terms of what, of the look and the energy of it all. I've got room to put guests on there. Those are the guest setups right there, y'all. But I'm going to keep it here, or I'm going to keep it here, or I'm going to keep it here. This is a pretty close-up look right here. I like this one, though. Let's do this so you can kind of see the feel and the energy in the place I'm at. Cocoa Beach, Redbone on YouTube. Yeah, she on there. What's up, Carla? Oh, you saying you're Redbone on YouTube. Let me look. Hold on, let me see. Okay, all Queen, Detroit, Michigan. Okay, yeah, man. So, listen. So, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was that made us transition from the conversation we were having yesterday about, we were actually talking about, health and wellness, and somehow the conversation got turned towards relationships. And when that happened, I was like, I kind of went off on a tangent, and I think, y'all know how I do when I'm starting to talk. I have 2 voices on YouTube. Okay, let me do something. Let me mute that one. How about now? I should only have 1 voice on YouTube now. Is that better? Thank you for telling me, Redbone. And I need that. I need that feedback to make sure that, I like the close-up. You like that, Diana? Let me go back to the close-up. Let me see. Let me change this. I want to bring this smaller so that I can do that more effectively, because I see what's happening. I see what's happening to me. Ooh. Yeah. There we go. I only hear 1 voice. Yeah, I changed it. Let me see. And she said she wanted to see the close-up. That's the close-up right there. Y'all are all in my face right now on YouTube. But so we were chopping it up, and it really got good because our conversation, when it ended, I forgot what we were talking about when it ended, because I was interrupted kind of abruptly at the end and was told to kind of return back to the other thing, even though it was so much engagement going on in terms of our relationship conversation. So yeah, you know what? I think it was want versus need. That's what got us into it. How many of you out there want a great relationship? How many of you need a great relationship? Y'all like that one better, Diana? Diana and everybody on my YouTube live, y'all like that one? Is that the one that works? Talk to me, yeah. Let me know. Let me know how you feel. Spliff said both of them. You can't have it both of them. You can't have both of them. You got, listen, do you want or do you need do you want or do you need a relationship? That's a very serious question in the grand scheme of how you move around with the person that you're with, because what I was saying was that I got little skills, Bruce. I won't even get into that. You know what I'm saying? But listen, the dynamic. Okay, yep, Queen. I know you would like a great relationship. Do you need or do you want it? Not sure if it's a want or a need. You got to determine that, because wanting or needing a relationship is going to be how you move into it, right? Y'all know people who really go hard on trying to be in a relationship, so much so that they just run over the red flags. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you need something, it's it's Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? It's by any means necessary. Okay, so Diana wants to just jump straight ahead to, I want to know why men cheat. I want to know why men cheat. Now, let's be realistic. We can't give a general answer in this scenario because each person is different, and people cheat. It's not just men, it's women too. But on our side of it, that's a better question for to ask the ladies. Ladies, why do y'all think men cheat? What a question after certain things happened in the past. I would like be and stay single. Girl, stop, Rose. You can't let the past dictate your future. I mean, but they listen, it's the kind of thing that you need to break down though, Hayden. Like, first off, you got to remember that you're dealing with grown people. Grown people make grown decisions. And if they're not of good moral character, they're going to do it, they're going to do what they want to do. I was told they like a variety, Brown Sugar said. So Brown Sugar said, because men like a variety, let me put something behind this right quick. Brown Sugar said, because men like a variety, this is why they cheat. Diana said, because they get horny real fast. Rose said she tired of the same old, same old. I can dig that. Listen, there's no one specific reason why a man cheats. And it's not your fault. Ladies, I want to absolve y'all from the situation right now. It's not your fault. I know a lot of you are carrying around thinking that it's your fault when it has happened in your relationship. Now, can you assist in giving him, the mindset to do it? Absolutely. But it's not your fault. If a man cheats, a man cheats. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. We have a choice, and some people have strong minds, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even about liking different flavors, right? It goes back to that dynamic of having something that you haven't had before. I think that if you have a disrespectful person, that's the part. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, hating stupid. Listen, when a man cheats, it has nothing to do with anybody else but what he wants to do. Same thing with anybody though. When you cheat, it's a decision you make. We talking about love and relationships, Gaston, and somebody asked the explosive question, why do men cheat? I overheard a conversation and a man said his woman wouldn't do enough. I mean, respectfully, that's still not a reason to cheat. That's a reason to break up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. You only get cheated on by a person that's weak and doesn't say, you know what, this isn't working out, and before I do something that'll disrespect myself or you, I'm gonna walk away from this situation. Yeah, Rose, listen, you can like different flavors and stuff, right? That's perfectly okay. But we're talking about, there's something different, right? There's something different when it comes to how people look at the issue of cheating. Cheating is a choice by the person who's doing it. Usually, the person getting cheated on does not have a choice in the matter. If you knew, here's a good question. If you knew the person that you was with was going to step out on you, and they told you, like, listen, I can be with you, but I'm gonna step out and do some other things, he would probably, or she would probably believe that you're gonna leave them. Yep. Cheating is a choice. Has nothing to do with the person getting cheated on. That's the bottom line. Listen. No, enough said. I like being single. I have my peace. Listen, it's not even about that. In order to be, if you have hopes of being in a relationship enough, you still got to be in the game. You still got to be a part of the game. Like, you can't sit on the bench and then tell people how to run plays and what stuff like that. You can't be a coach. You absolutely want to be a part of the game. So you can't sit out if you're looking for something. So that's what, okay, so Rose said she respects the truth. And that's a huge dynamic, right? The problem with her saying that she respects the truth is that most men aren't willing to roll the dice on your truth. The fact that you say you can respect the truth, man, ain't no dude finna go for that. He ain't finna tell you that, and then, you know, imagine that. You ever heard that? Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now that this is exactly where it came from. When people say, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have to temper that because a lot of women and men,
you can't handle the truth.
That's the honest to God truth. Think about this, ladies. If you told a man that you were in love with or that you liked, you say, look, I like you, but I want to see other people, but you were gonna be my main person. I don't know any man that's been able to kind of, you know, hang on to that. I don't know any man that's been able to hang on to that. Our egos are so shallow. They're so fragile. Our egos are so fragile. I know a dude, right? Listen, I know a dude, this nigga, excuse my language, this dude was so, I mean, he just dogged this girl out. But he kind of did it honestly, right? Which I respected him on one side, and on the other side, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So he told the girl, you know, he would tell her like, yo, she would catch him, she would stalk and catch him, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, find out little stuff like that and find out about these girls. And then here's the thing that most people do. When the person that they're with cheats on them, what do y'all do? What does the other person do? They cheat back on them. They go back and cheat on those people. And that's where your self-esteem is now, you've thrown a grenade on your self-esteem. But more so than that, you become one of the worst things you can ever become in life is a hypocrite. One of the worst things you could become in life is a hypocrite, y'all. Do not become what you despise. Have y'all ever heard that? That's what you're supposed to do, enough. Do not become what you despise. That's from, if y'all ever seen the movie The Count of Monte Cristo. A person can never treat you bad without a person allowing the behavior. Well, yes, they can, Queen, because sometimes you don't even know you're getting treated bad, but they're treating you bad. The difference is you don't feel the effects of it. And I think many women are accepting of that. Diana said, I'd rather use a toy than cheat because guys talk. Wow. And you're right. But, you know, yeah, when you have to become a detective, it becomes a full-time job. Yep. And you're not flourishing in a relationship. So check it out. This dude, she had ways, bro. Like, she had ways of figuring it out. She had a friend that was like a hacker and all that. So she would be all in the business. She knew all his stuff. She knew when he spent money. She knew all that kind of stuff, right? So all this stuff is going on. And then one day they had this conversation. And she decided, now mind you, okay, so just so y'all understand, I'm the sounding board for a lot of my female friends. Like, a lot of my female friends call me up and they tell me just about everything. I mean, when I say everything, I mean everything. So she told me about this, you know, her doing, you know, him doing all this stuff. But she also would tell me, you know, she kicking it with other dudes in the interim and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yo, don't become what you despise. Like, just walk away from the situation, because that's not it. That's not the route to go. And so she didn't. And one day when he was like, and you know, dudes, this is what we do, right? We be like, yo, listen, look, I ain't gonna get mad. Just listen, just be honest with me. Just tell me what's going on. Look, I promise you I won't get mad. Now, ladies, I want y'all to know that's a setup. That's a complete setup. If a man tells you he's not going to respond or he's not going to get mad, he is lying through his doggone teeth. We are emotional creatures when we feel like we've been bamboozled, when somebody's done something wrong. We are emotional creatures. And so, sure enough, she told me too, right? I was like, she told me after the fact, because she knows that if she tells me before the fact, I'm going to tell her the truth. I'm going to be like, yo, don't say nothing. What up, Key? I'm going to say, don't say nothing. And she said something to him. She told him about this one dude who he had a suspicion about. And I told her, I said, she's like, he hates me. Oh my God, he doesn't want to ever speak to me again. And mind you, this is a 3-4 year relationship. And I was like, yo, he he has. But you need that, Rose, whether you know it or not. You need outside counseling. And for her, I was both sides of it. Meaning I was unbiased in my conversation with her. When I told her when she was screwing up, I'd be like, yo, you messing up. That's not the route to go. But then again, you know, you guys, I liken women to cats. When I say that, I mean, y'all are like, you know how you can't tell a cat what to do? And that's good, Diana. You should not cheat back. Like, honestly, you should not become what you despise. But women are like cats. So when I say, you know what I'm saying? When I be like, yo, you should not do that. Like, really relax, chill out. Don't do that. She would run over it. She'd run over that red flag. So she told him, man, and it broke his heart. And because they had been together so long, y'all know how y'all do. When y'all get, when the relationships still get bad, instead of you walking out, y'all still keep messing around. Well, they kept messing around even when they didn't like each other, so to speak, and she ended up getting pregnant with his baby. Now she's pregnant with the baby. She's got a beautiful, beautiful kid, but he wants, like, when I thought he was like a stand-up guy, man, I'm telling you, his whole demeanor changed from that point of her telling him, like, he didn't want to have nothing to do with her. He felt, and I told her, I said, you broke his heart. Like I said, after all the dirt that he's done, you broke his heart because he could never imagine you doing that back to him. And that's the reality that most people have, is that they could never fathom that you did to them what they did to you. And you shouldn't. But here's the thing. Most women, I believe, if a man did something retaliatory to a woman, they would stay. No, he didn't deny the baby or none of that. Hayden, he a good stand-up dad for his kid, but man, the visceral way that he was with her in the beginning, bro, man, I'm talking about, he was straight dogging her after that. But I told her what it was. She's like, why he done? I said, because you just told this man that, you know, that thought he was Superman and that he could do what he wanted, and you stand by him, that you stepped out on. And men we can't handle that, because you know what we do, ladies? Whether y'all know it or not, I don't know if y'all do this. I don't know if ladies do this. But we, in our minds, we picture another dude drilling you. Like, in our minds, we see it. It's like we was there. You know what I'm saying? And this replays every time he looks at you. It's like, you know what I mean? He going crazy. That's why you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you, ladies, that listen. You can't tell all your business. I'm sorry, to him. Like, you can't tell your significant other. Ladies, please don't. If you do something, take it with you. Take it with you till you break up or to the grave. One of the two. Just take it with you. We don't want the truth. I don't want the truth. You know that? And so, not wanting the truth, here's one of the things that I kind of do, right? When it comes to relationships. I choose to believe what I choose to believe. That's it. Y'all do realize, like, you'll never know if somebody who really wanted to cheat on you was cheating on you. And if you did know, you'd have to ask yourself, why did I want to know? Yep, Kim. When my ex-husband cheated, that's why I couldn't go back. I get it, Rose. You know, I grew up 4 brothers. I can think like a man to a degree. That's a gift and a curse, though, Redbone. And that was the same with her. It's like she thought like a dude. So she did dude stuff back to a dude, and the dude was like, that ain't it. That ain't how I want. These are not the roles I want to play. I went crazy on him and then stopped talking to him, and later the month found out he was wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Those be crazy times, man. When you know, there are times when you really got to pay attention to those red flags. And too many of us don't. We run right over them. But it goes back to, like, I always have said, never let your hand know what your left hand is doing. I mean, it's simple, right? Like, the conversation you should have, though, and we're gonna get to that, Rose. I think that's the statement of the night. Sometimes you chose the wrong person from the beginning. It's hard finding the right one. No, it's not. Rose said it's hard finding the right one. Let's go back. Okay, let's start at the process. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. How you meet somebody makes a huge difference. And what you decide to do in that beginning of meeting them makes all the difference as well, from a guy's perspective and a girl's. I don't know why it's freezing like that, y'all, but for guys, the way we court a lady in the beginning is everything, because the way you start is the way she gonna want you to finish. The way you go into it is the way she gonna want you to keep rocking out with her. Yeah, man. Listen, you can't buy a chick. Look, you wanna do something, you wanna do a test? I guarantee you, listen, men in the room, if you call a girl every day for 7 days straight, and on the 8th day you stop calling her, she's going to hit the panic button and call you like, what happened? What's wrong? What did I? And she's gonna be thinking she did something wrong. This used to be a dating tactic of mine, because I believe in reciprocation, but most women are doted over so much that they forget to reciprocate those same things sometimes. So you got to go hard in the paint. I'm on you. 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 And then let me just stop for a second to see if the momentum I created can be carried by you too. Because that's really what I want to know. That's what everybody wants to know. Where are you at in this thing? Are you all the way in with this thing, or are you halfway in with this thing? Are you only desiring me because I'm desiring you? Are you only picking up the phone because I'm calling, or would you pick up the phone to call me if I didn't call you? That's what people want to know. Are you going to show up? And you need to find out these things early on in the relationships. Like in the beginning, you gotta see that coming, because if you don't, you're gonna fall to your own demise because you didn't do the homework. Yeah, you gotta take your time. Never rush into. Listen, do you know how long? You know how long your dating period can be? However long it needs to be. The issue becomes, everybody wants. I will always say your first thought or feeling about the person when you meet the person will tell you everything. It'll tell you a lot, Sonichi, but again, everybody's so guarded or pretending. So that kind of goes to the wayside. People have some really awesome representatives. People got a great face card in the beginning, but it's hard to keep that consistent. God told me he grouped his relationship in 4 categories, so I just watched to see mine and had to exit. That's what's up. No, when you meet somebody, just take your time and go through those things that matter to you. What really matters to you? Does it matter if he respects you? And if so, then name off the instances where he's respected you. Because if he hasn't respected you in the beginning, and you'll know which ways those are, y'all see the red flags coming a mile away with anybody that you're with. But that smile got you, them eyes got you, that booty got you, them tatas got you. You know what I'm saying? We run over those speed bumps that are telling us detour or to exit for the lack of our eyes, what our eyes see. And we tell our eyes that our heart desires it and we must have it. Let's do it. And then we make the decision of being intimate. And a lot of us, again, we are those people. Like, we are those creatures that we love intimacy. We want to be held by somebody. We want to kick it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I think key to your point, knowing somebody's love language, to me, that's later on down the road, right? I got to know your like language first. I got to know if I like you before I know if I love you. And if I can't get past the like part of you, then ain't no love coming. You know what I'm saying? So how do you get to the point where you know if you like somebody? Like somebody enough to compromise. And not to say give up what you believe, but relationships are about, doing what's best for the greater good. But that's everybody, Ella. Listen, Ella said her ex was awesome during dating, and 6 months in our marriage, then the abuse came out of nowhere. That the irony is that for some reason, when you put a ring on it, the irony is when you walk down that aisle, that and this is where it happens at, and this is where I wrestle with marriage. This is where I wrestle with it, because when you weren't legally committed to me, you were better to me. There was a fear of losing me that is no longer there, and that fear of losing somebody is a power metric that needs to stay in a relationship. You need to fear the fact that I might bail, and that's gonna keep you acting right. That's why the dating period is so super dope. When you find somebody who really values you, they think they own you. But everybody slips up. Everybody does something in the marriage state that they didn't do in the dating state, and it's like, it's like the gotcha. You know what I'm saying? It's like that moment. of being with somebody, and you want to be like, what are they doing? But they have you at that point, and unfortunately, you know, you got to make an even harder decision now because you got to get divorced, and some people don't want to be labeled with the divorce, or they don't want to go through all of the highs and lows of a divorce. They don't want to go through the separation and all that kind of stuff. They don't want to be an embarrassment, especially if you had a big wedding. Oh my God, all those people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you see the red flags in the beginning, there's an opportunity to escape before you make a firm commitment. Before you become somebody's fiance, you have an option of turning tail and bailing. And I think that's the issue with when people get married, they stop dating. That's the consistency right there. The same thing you did to get me is the same thing you got to do to keep me. And that's why I say for fellas, because we are the initiators, because we're the ones who do the pursuing, we have to be mindful of how we do it. Yep, that's exactly right, Ella. And it's not fair. But men, we got to be, for any man that comes into your life, you got to measure if he's a person who's going to be a person who is going to own up to being who he was prior. You just date him, man. I think you just date him until it turns into the marriage. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, meaning you date him long enough for it to feel like a marriage before you get married. People ain't ready for the next level. There are absolutely levels to this. And people are not all prepared for that next level, even though, you know, they pop the question, they say yes, you know, and do all that stuff. Most people aren't are ready to be married. And you don't know if people are committed enough to stay in it to build what you're trying to build. You know, are they the people who can deal with the highs and lows, or are they going to pull the parachute string? Are they going to jump off? You know what I'm saying? But you can figure out some of this stuff in the very beginning. You can get rid of some of the, you know, in the corporation, we nowadays go to Indeed to fill out application. Yep, it's an agreement, but you've already made the agreement when you've decided to be, you know, with just that one person. And I would tell you, like, please, you know, if my advice is like, just maintain what you have when it's at its best. You don't need a label. You don't need a further commitment past that. Just maintain what you had when it was at its best. There's no agreement that's going to change that. There's no audience that's going to change that. There's no preacher that can break that. There's no, you understand? Like, there's no, if you don't know when you're happy, you're doomed to throw it out the door. A lot of times people don't know when they're happy. Like, oh my God, listen. So this is another thing that I get from my female friends, but my homeboys also be jacking it up. They be completely good, and then they start snooping or accusing or having their own feelings about things that aren't even there, because we self-sabotage so much, because it's so easy to believe that we don't deserve something special. That's how our self-esteem works sometimes. That's how, you know, that's why I'm like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful of how you move and deal with your own issues. A friend of mine the other day, she's dating this guy, I swear he's the world and all this kind of stuff. And then out of nowhere, she accused him because one day all he did was text her. One day, let me stop this. One day, all he did was text her. He did not pick up the phone. She called him and accused him of doing something because he didn't pick up the phone. Now, this person is explaining, hey, this was the situation, da-da-da-da. But now the relationship is tainted because she's openly said she doesn't trust him. You know what I'm saying? What up, Tim? You know what I'm saying? Listen, Locke, you can't say it any better than that. I went to a therapist with somebody I was dating, and that's exactly what they said to her. Because most people are living a 50-50 relationship. Do y'all know that? Have any of y'all been in a 50-50 relationship? If you've been in a 50-50 relationship, just raise your hand. Yep, that is insecurity. I dealt with that from a guy. I broke him in two hands. It was crazy hand slide. Yep, that's exactly what it is. If you've been in the 50-50, you've been in 60-40, okay. Anybody else 50-50 relationships? Well, you put in 50, they put in 50. Anybody? Okay. Yep. GA Redbone, Mia. Yep. Locke did. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody on my YouTube? Y'all put in a 50-50 relationship? Thank you, Coffee. Thank you, Coffee. Look, that's why I asked y'all that. I was kind of setting y'all up. I'm sorry. Who wants half of anybody? Who wants half of anybody? That's one of the hugest issues in relationships is people believe they only have to bring 50 to the part and you bring the other part. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what kind of thing is that? I understand people's to relationships, like maybe there's other things you can bring 52 and I bring 52, but relationships ain't one of them. Relationships, I want all of you. I want the best of you. I want whatever you have to offer in its fullness, and I'll do the same. And if at my fullness and your fullness, we can't be a superpower, we can't be super together, then there's an issue. But also, it also helps you when we're at 100 and I'm at 100. Guess what? That's a very high altitude for a relationship to be at. And you can determine when something's off with the relationship. I dismiss them too. The thing about having 100 relationships, you can see when somebody's at 90 or 80 or going down to that 50, and you say that you can already be like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's happening? It's very acute up there. But at 50-50, you've never seen them at their best. You've never seen a person at their best that brings 50% to a relationship. And y'all should ask the person when they come to the thing, say, hey, so and I would set them up. I'd be like, okay, so cool. Listen, you gonna bring 50% to this relationship? No, it's not need, Timothy. You don't want somebody to need you, Timothy. You want somebody to want you when you're not there. You don't want need. You want somebody to desire you. And people at 50 and 50 don't have the option of desiring you the way they should. They're still missing a whole half. They're depleted. Don't y'all ever get in a 50-50 relationship? Yep. No. Needs versus wants. Timothy, you want need negates desire. And we all need to feel desired. He said bills. He's stupid. Even with bills, though, y'all want to be able to hold that down together. You know what I'm saying? But need denotes desire. The best relationships come from two people who desire each other. They desire each other's happiness. They desire each other's love. They desire each other's companionship. They desire the best for each other. And if you're not managing that in your relationships, if you're not commanding, you know, if that person's so it's tough. It's tough because people don't understand what that feels like. Me being in the entertainment business, like if any of y'all check my resume or whatever, I've been in a position where all my life, since I was probably 17, any woman that I was with desired me before we ever got together. Like I felt like, oh my God, like I tell this story of me mowing my lawn, right? I'm mowing my lawn in Michigan, and this girl pulls up. And it's like me and my homeboys, we all out on the stoop or whatever while I'm mowing the lawn. She like, hey. And I'm like, you know, I know she ain't talking to me because I'm looking dusty because I'm mowing the lawn. But she's like, no, you, the one who mowing the lawn. Because I guess she had bent the corner a couple times, you know what I'm saying? So I came down to talk to her. She's like, yeah, I thought you was cute. I drove by, da-da-da. Can I get your number? And we're friends now. But she desired me at one point, which was crazy. And she gave me one of the dopest compliments, you know, about our intimacy I've had in life. Why? Because it came from a place of desire. We'll get to that. We'll get to that definitely, Kim. But desire makes you appreciate so much more. I'll be like, don't need me. Need me makes you crazy. Needing things from me, making me at the point of you needing certain things from me, especially the things that I enjoy doing, makes it so hard. It makes it so hard for me to do it. You know, you're in a situation where, you know, you jump in the shower with your girl often or whatever, and then for whatever reason you stop. Now, oh, why you don't get in the shower with me now? You don't want to take a shower with me? Da da da. And you be like, huh? And then because you don't want to hear that complaining, what you do? You jump in the shower. Now you're not in the shower because you enjoy being in the shower. You're enjoying in the shower because you don't want to hear her, or you don't want her to be upset or feel some kind of way. So now you in the shower, and that's what it is. And then, it's cool. And then you good. She happy. Men, we can mask it. We take one for the, we take L's all the time. We cool with that. So we get out of the shower. Now, next thing you know, she on it again. Oh, so I just da-da-da-da-da. And you be like, no, I'm straight, babe. I'm just, I'm going to take one later after the gym or whatever. Now it's a problem. Because next thing you know what? The shower just wasn't the same without you in it, blah, 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 blah. You be like, what? How am I responsible for your experience in the shower? Like, where did I go wrong with that? Where did I now become responsible for the time that you have in the shower? To the point where you can't even enjoy a shower by yourself. That's because what I loved and what I wanted to do now has become a need. That's the first thing that happens, coffee. You start resenting that person. You be like, yo, they're not hadn't. Listen, what it is a lot of times people don't know how to properly engage and communicate and date a person because they've rushed in. Like I told y'all, the booty, the lips, the eyes, the hips, the muscles, the hair, you name it. Man, we are weak individuals until we know ourselves. We are weak until we accept ourselves and say, I wouldn't do that. That's not how I'm rocking. Because you're at the driver's seat of you. And once you understand that you are all you can control, and you won't let another person control you with manipulative tactics like, whining and all that kind of stuff, you say, listen, that's something you got to work out. How the fuck you not going to eat because I didn't eat at the time you wanted to eat? You forgot how to go get food? Nigga, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's instances where people will change their behavior and make you the blame of why something doesn't happen. And you weren't the one that told them to change their behavior. And the crazy part about that is if you could, you would tell them, don't think like that. Just go ahead and do what makes you happy. It's a real crazy, crazy way of being. But you get in those relationships that are want versus need, and a person becomes needy to the point where you can't be yourself. And a lot of times this also happens when you remove your friends. Let me tell y'all, do not let go of the people who are in your life when you met the person that may possibly be your future wife or whoever. Don't remove your friends. Why? Your friends are the ones who cultivated your behavior, your mindset, your happiness, and everything that you were when that person met you. They're a source. They're a resource. And so many times people get on islands. They push their friends away. They just want to spend the time with that one person when really it should be a group activity. Yep. When she had a boyfriend, yep. Listen, they get we call it getting on an island. Oh, he on an island. Yeah, it's just them, man. That dude don't come out, don't hang out. And we're all guilty of it. Most of us are really guilty of losing friendships over relationships when it's all supposed to be relationships. Can you imagine? Isn't it a grand life when the people who cultivated you and are responsible for your laughter, your happiness, have dug you out of holes in the past, that really know your truth and know your life and have met your folks and been friends with your family? Isn't it cool as I don't know what, when those people are in your life when you have a relationship? We gonna be here for a minute. As long as my batteries stay live on this phone, we good. But isn't that important, man? Where did that go? Where did that go for people? Like the part where your friends are cultivating, are also there to make sure you remain you. Your friends are the consciousness for you. Yeah, man, I let my boys go and enjoy his new lady. That's exactly what happens. And then, unfortunately, because she's not superwoman, meaning they can't manage all the facets of your life like your friends could. Everything starts becoming a blame game. Things start going south. You know what I'm saying? No, listen, that's how it has to be, Redbone. Like, the person he met is the person he want to be with. And then y'all can grow together, of course. But man, if that person that he met disappears, then you got to, then who are you with? But your friends are the ones who help keep that person in check. Your friends are the one who help keep you there. Like, in the right mindset. If your friends, if you ain't got the right kind of friends, yeah, man, you will be jacked up, and you should, that should be managed anyway. Like, your friends help cultivate the person that other people fell in love with. You wasn't out by yourself when y'all met. And plus, if you was probably with your friends earlier. Like, that's the most crazy thing ever, man. But it happens way too often, and the other person becomes responsible for all the facets that the significant other is now responsible for. Think about that. If you're a people person, you're an active person. Now you're on an island with just one person. Oh my God! And that person ain't funny, or they not creative, or they don't know how to do the flip side. It's a challenge. What can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you made the choice. That's exactly right, Coffee. That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be surrounded by your friends through all those times. Through the highs, the lows, everything. Why? Because they know you best. And they'll take on the responsibility of making sure you stay grounded. They'll stand in the fold when things go south and make sure that, you know, people understand, like, no, that don't even sound like him. That ain't him. You don't worry about that. That ain't her. No, you know what I'm saying? Listen, girl, you need to get your head. They're going to be the ones, listen, and the irony is, the significant other should know that they're usually the ones who are going to put that person in check. No, man, you going home, man. You don't need to be going with us. We finna go get into some trouble. But you got a good girl, man. You going home. We ain't gonna let you mess that up. But too many times, you know, man, I seen a lot of my friends get on the island and they be wondering what's wrong. And the next thing you know, you coming back. Man, you know, yeah, man, my bad, you know. Did I? That's what's up. It's important, man. It's important that you keep your crew. Wow. That's crazy, Focused. I mean, Drew, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's why, you know, for certain friendships, you know, we're sounding boards, and that the fact that we stay solid allows them to have a place to land, you know what I'm saying, when they jump. You know? It's necessary. So look, man, when y'all get into these relationships, just, you know, don't jump in immediately. Take some time. Get to know them a little bit. I never gave up my friendships when I started dating or after I got married. They were there before him and still there after them, as they will be and as they should be, Kim. That's awesome. Your core needs to be there, and that's what keeps you who you are, and that's how you can identify that the other person was the one who was crazy. Because no, my friends, if I was the one nutting up, my friends would bail on me. Because they'd be like, yo, you have turned into somebody I don't even know or recognize. But your friends hold you in position and they keep you focused. So as you deal with the nuances that this other person brings in your life, hopefully they got a group. And this is why I said that. Do y'all remember? So I gave y'all 3 tips, right, for dating. I gave y'all 3 tips to go into dating. On the first date is when you meet that person and you don't talk about anything personal. The reason why is because you got to know that you can have a good time with her and whoever she came with and whatever, and you kind of sizing up if, you know, how much of a people person she is with those people. And if she lit, then you good, because the environment you met her in, you was having a great time. That's an experience y'all can catalog and keep and always lean on. It's like, yo, when we met, man, you know what I'm saying? We was off the chain. Yep. Never introduce friends. That's a whole different kind of conversation. Never introduce friends that you have slept with to the new person. Woo! That's hot and juicy right there. But after you meet them for the first night and y'all feel each other's energy and the conversation is cool and y'all keeping it right into place. We ain't talking about jobs. We ain't talking about personal stuff. We just keeping it in the moment. You win. If you can do that first night, you win. If you find somebody that you're talking to and they're not giving you the breakdown, wanting to know your resume, and it's not an interview, you win for that night. That should carry you on to some great phone conversations, and then the next date. The next date is you and her out again, or you out and y'all go somewhere and sit down. Yep. That's a different kind of thing, Royal, to kind of, that's a different kind of thing that has to happen for those relationships that require extreme trust or great understanding. The realest person in a situation where a person is away from the house a lot, right? Especially military. I'll tell y'all a story. I dated a girl, beautiful girl, inside and out, who made me have the hardest cry I've ever had because of a situation that was similar to truck drivers, possibly, military people, possibly. But I was taking her back to college. She was going to Howard. I drove her to Howard from Atlanta. And the realest thing she said to me is probably the realest thing conversationally that truck drivers and military people should understand. Military people more than truck drivers, because truck drivers are going 3-4 days and then they back home. Something different. Military people are gone for months on end. And she said to me, hey, I can't promise you that I'm going to be faithful because I want to live the college experience. Like I want to be here at college and let whatever happens at college. I don't want nothing to stop me from my college experience. And I was so not ready to hear that. I was so not ready to hear that. And when she said it, because I'm a realist, like because I get it, because I understand. It was the hardest truth somebody had ever told me ever in life, and I was so not happy with it. But I wasn't mad. I was just emotional because I understood. So I sat there. I was in the car, and a tear started coming down this side of my face. And I don't know if I don't think a tear came down the right side, but she was like, "Yep," she was being truthful, and she was like, "Look at me." And I was like, I couldn't turn my face to look at her because I didn't want her to see this one tear coming out of my eye. Because I knew if she saw it, I would have flipped out. You know, I knew that I was vulnerable. I was emotional and vulnerable. And sure enough, she took her hand and turned my face, and she saw it. And seeing me be that vulnerable made her emotional. And when she became emotional, I in turn became even. It was a cry fest. Like it was the hardest cries. It was all that. Can you imagine? In hindsight, I feel so embarrassed, but it was probably the realest cry I've had in quite a while. But it was, it was that. I've never done that. Like that was a never done that moment. And yeah, it was crazy. And so when it happened, you know, it was like I said, the truth was out there. You know, the emotional cry that I had allowed me to deal with what I felt was honest pain. It was a truthful pain. You know what I'm saying? It was a damn. And so I went in a slump. I got back from there, and every song I wrote at that time was just bad. And I don't mean bad as in like it was a horrible song, but it was emotional to the point where my friends were like, yo, what's going on with you, man? You done wrote a song called Love Will Drive You Crazy, and you wrote a song called what's the girl, there's only you to turn in my life. It's just me that's loving you at the heart. And it hurts like a knife, cause only you. So that was called Somewhere. Somewhere inside of me. I'm be. It was dope. That song was dope. It sounded like Babyface. I got it somewhere, but I'll see if I can find it. But it was one of the deepest songs I wrote at the time. And so the only thing that got me over it. So imagine this: drove her back in August. I start writing all this depressing stuff and all through November and all that. But we had planned a trip. Me and my homeboys had planned a trip, and they knew what it was because I had never failed that hard before. But we planned a trip to go to Barbados for 3 weeks for the holiday. Yeah, I was shook. I was shook even when we got to Barbados. Like, we down in Barbados, we got a private beach house. Our backyard is the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a maid. We got the whole thing laid out. We got my homeboys over from Britain. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're on holiday. We got it lit. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to, you know, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. And there was some bad chicks over there and everything, but I was so like, I wasn't fully connected, you know, to nothing. So the only thing that got me out of it, so we had a day of just horrible luck. We had 2 days. So we had 2 days of horrible luck, not back to back. The first one was, we went to this place called Bondi. No, was it Bondi? No, Cairns Beach. It's a white sand beach in Barbados. And it's got this huge cliff that people would jump off of. Now, mind you, I ain't stupid. So I'm sitting in the I'm sitting on the sand chilling because I don't do cliffs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm chilling, and all my friends, like some of the guys from London, were white. You know, and I'm saying that because they're just more prone to doing crazy stuff like jumping off cliffs in the water. So that's what they were doing. They was going and they was jumping off the cliff and doing that whole thing. And I'm like, yo, nah, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna be doing all that. And sure enough, after enough poking and prodding and, you know, come on, man, you only live once type stuff, I get up there, and I'm a decent swimmer, you know what I'm saying? But this different, I don't know if y'all notice, it's very different swimming in the ocean. It's different swimming in the ocean than anywhere else. Let me tell you, if nobody's told you that swimming in the ocean, there's this thing called a current. Anybody heard of it? I did. I learned all about it. So so they got me up there on this cliff, and I saw how high it was, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't think this is not in my life script. You know what I'm saying? For me to be doing this. And so I'm arguing with one of my closest friends up there, and we like going back and forth. And then that machismo just started. You know what I'm saying? That machismo that makes you just do something dumb. I just jump off the end of the cliff. I run and I jump. Ah! Now, what I didn't know was that the time it took for me to get to the water was going to be as long as it was. I mean, it was a high cliff. So I jump off this cliff and I finally hit it. That's right, prayed up, keep it up. That's supposed to work. I finally hit the water, and what they don't tell you, nobody told me, and they don't tell you, is that you hit the water and let it bring you up. You know, let it bring you up on its own, and then you swim with the current. I didn't get the memo. I hit the water. I'm like, I'm ready to be going back to the beach. So I start swimming. The crazy part was, the harder I swam, the further I got from the beach. I saw the beach running from me while I'm swimming. So I'm like, immediately I figure this ain't going how I want it to go, and I'm finna be out in the middle of the ocean because I'm not in control of the direction that I'm going. Like, I'm trying to go that way, but I'm going further and further away while I'm doing it. So now my heart is beating all fast, and I don't know if y'all heard of this thing. It's when your body it's called frigid. When your body gets frigid, it feels like I got heavy weights on my arms. Like I'm trying to swim, but I can't really move my arm. So my boy's still up top, way up top, right? So I look up at him and I say, help, like that. And you see people stand up on the beach, because I'm loud when I say it. Like, I'm like, help. So people stand up, even the lifeguard stand up, but he don't jump in the water. So my homeboy now, he's passing out laughing. He said my eyes was about this big when I looked up at him the second time. Second time I looked up at him, I said, no, help, mother. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let me do this right. I said, I said, no, help, mother. And he said that's when he knew it was for real. Now, mind you, while I was swimming, I was catching water in my mouth, and this was making it all bad. And not only that, I was going closer to the cliff. If y'all don't understand, the cliff had a bottom where the water was going under, and I felt like, oh snap, I'm about to be vacuumed underneath the water. So my heart is really like, I'm losing it on every level at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so finally he jump in. Mind you, I'm frigid and everything, and the panic button has been hit all over my mind and body or whatever. And so he's pulling me, you know, he jumps in, he starts bringing me to shore, not realizing that maybe 5 feet from me, I could have started walking on my own, right? But I couldn't because I had taken in so much water. I was feeling sluggish, whatever. So I finally get to the beach. Somebody comes and helps him carry me over to my towel. I lay down on my face. I spit up a load of water, and then the whole world starts spinning like I had been drinking like crazy. And then I pass out for an hour and a half. I woke up and I was like, I had a near-death experience. I got a book. I'm gonna tell you how crazy it was. Mind y'all, listen, this is what got me over the relationship at that time, over feeling how I felt. I spun around, spit up the water, and passed out. I woke up an hour and a half. That's what's up, Coffee. I woke up an hour and a half. I'll see you at 10. Yep. Or maybe early, just depends on when I wake up, but see you at 10 for sure. I passed out, woke up. We went into the city, downtown Barbados. I went to the bookstore, and I got a book by Ayana Van Zant called The Spirit of a Man. Because I needed to read. I needed something spiritual. I needed something that was going to talk to me, man, because I was so out of it. I was so like, oh, my God. So I got this book, and I just started reading. It's a really dope read, too, and it's really helped center me and whatnot. So I read this book, you know what I'm saying? And it was like everything just changed for me in that instant, so I was feeling good. But the second incident also made it like, after that I started having fun or whatever. And then in Barbados, they got these cars, right? They're called Moxies. And what they are, they're like little go-karts. So they have no real doors. They just have like the dune buggy look. You're supposed to put 4 people in them. We had 5. So we're coming back from this one spot, and my homeboy is not supposed to be driving. One of the guys from London, he's not supposed to be driving, but he's the star of this group, so he gets a pass, right? So he's driving, and suddenly it goes like he floods the car. And when I say that, if y'all know what I mean, like he did something, the car stalled out. We had to sit in the road for a little bit. Now we on these 2-lane roads, right? And it's big ass bushes everywhere. So you could, you go around the corner, it could be a car or something coming and all that kind of stuff. We on the back roads of Barbados, and it's like little house huts that you see on the side of the road as you drive. And so if you can imagine, they're like little roads that lead to maybe 3 or 4 houses that look like huts type deal. You know what I'm saying? You look on this side, it's like, houses, like a little community of maybe 4 or 5 little bitty houses or whatever. So we're driving. We get the car started back and we start driving. And we told him then, it was like, yo, man, somebody else should drive, bro, because this ain't it. So I'm in the front seat with him. He's sitting on the right side because, they're driving on that side of the car now. It's like London. They drive they drive on that side. I don't know if y'all have been to Jamaica or anywhere like that, but their buses, right? Their buses have 15-inch subwoofers all through the back. You can hear these buses coming through your neighborhood like it ain't nothing. They just bang, boom, 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 boom. So you hear the sound. So we driving down the road. He's kind of going kind of fast. It had just, if y'all ever been to the islands, right? If y'all ever been to the islands, y'all know how they have the rain, they have the rain, sunshine things. Rain, sunshine, off and on. So that had been happening that day. So we come around this corner where the bushes was at, and we're going fast enough that when we see this doggone Jamaican bus in front of us, he slams on the brakes because it's in our lane. Like it's going the same way we going, and he slams on the brakes. I'm in the front seat of this go-kart watching us go towards this bus. I'm saying, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like I see it coming. I got enough time to say about 10 oh shits. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not pumping the brakes. He's not doing nothing that you do when your car starts sliding. You know what I'm saying? To gain control. So I put my knees up to guard for the crash because we are going to crash into this bus. Sure enough, we hit the bus. He goes forward. Bow. He gets a gash in his head. It's a life scar. Y'all know what a life scar is when you hit your head to the white meat. So he did that. I put my knee up, so when my knee hit the bar, my knee did this. My leg did this. It just said, shh, and took all the skin off the front of my leg, right, to the white meat. My homeboy in the front, in the back seat, remember we had 5 people in the car. We should have had 4. So even the weight distribution of it made it even more crazy. So his foot is underneath the driver's seat, and it's a metal thing under there that cuts his foot open, right? So we got the other 2, all they do is hit their head on the back of the seat. Ain't nothing wrong with these fools. So I used to wear a bandana. When we got to when we got hit, we jumped out of the car. I saw his head blushing with gushing with blood. So I took my bandana off, wrapped it around his head. Went to go ask the bus driver, was everybody okay? This dude is livid. Like, what are you doing? He was calling us all kind of bumbleclots and all that. He was mad as I don't know what. I'm trying to find a phone to call for help because they're both bleeding really bad. I'm bleeding down my legs, but it's like the surface level, you know what I'm saying, to the white meat. I've had that kind of injury before doing other shit. So I'm running now. The bus had stopped at one of those streets with the huts. So you could hear it. It was loud, and you could see that some people had came out of their house. So I'm running up the street to one of the houses, and I asked the lady, I was like, yo, I need you to call the ambulance. You know what I'm saying? I had my homeboy who was bleeding was with me. The other one really couldn't walk, so he stayed at the car. So we go up this hill. This lady has called the ambulance, and she's on her way down with a bottle in her hand. I have no idea what she's doing, but she's on her way down. And she's like, what happened? What happened? It was like, yo, we hit the thing. I said, look at his head. I got a thing on his head, but he should be straight a little bit. I show her my leg. I said, this is what happened to my leg, down to the white meat. She takes this bottle of what couldn't be nothing but pure alcohol and goes whoosh right at my leg. And you talking about screaming. I'm like, what in the hell were you thinking, lady? You know what I'm saying? Cause anybody know you put pure, like I'm in a foreign country, so they're not putting that cool like peroxide or none of that. This was straight alcohol that made me walk with a limp. You know what I'm saying? That's how potent that was. So finally we get out of that area, we get to the hospital. Over there, they don't use a whole lot of anesthesia. So I was already thumbs down on touching my leg any more than, I'm like, my leg is as pure as it's gonna get. I don't need y'all to do nothing else. I'm gonna let my leg just air dry. I'm gonna let the scab form on it through the air, nigga, because I'm not letting y'all touch my junk at all. So I'm sitting there. They sew up Doozy's foot. They sew it up, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Wrap it up. My homeboy who got the gash on his head, they put like this metal thing over his head that only exposed that area, and they needled that dude up with no anesthesia, bro. It was like some Rambo type stuff, man. And it was like we had the most amazing time, but we had those 2 incidents to take away as an adventure. And that's what got me over, oh girl, that's what made me get through that moment. You know what I'm saying? So from August of me taking her back all the way to like January 10th, you know what I mean? It took all that to get me back to a place where I could be, happy and stuff. So when I got back to Atlanta, I was in good shape. Everything was popping. And then she came home for the summer. Came home for the summer, wanted to see me. But it was different. You know what I'm saying? I was legal, but it was different after that. You know what I'm saying? She was in college, if you can imagine that. You know what I'm saying? It's been some minutes, but she came home and she wanted to kick it when she got home, but emotionally it was different. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was like I didn't think that I could ever be. I didn't want that kind of honesty no more. Like I knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like it hit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was one of those relationships where it was like a, the desire was there. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that, that's one of those things that taught me want versus desire, and why it's important to always stay in a place where you desire somebody, not need them. Need builds resentment, man. I know y'all got some stories too, man. I want to hear about y'all stories as well. I can't be the only one just sharing my whole thing. But we're gonna I know there was something that something that Kim mentioned earlier that I know we got to get into. We're not gonna get into it tonight, but why do guys not forgive if women cheat and women always forgive? That was Diana. I think that's an important conversation. Yeah, I did, Chrissy. I was guarded after that. It was too much. But listen, so I want to have these conversations, relationship conversations, because I think they help put things in perspective for us as we, man, Trini, if I write a book about my life, it's a faith-based book. I can tell you that right off rip. It's going to be a faith-based book, and then it's about perspective. I don't know what I would call it, but it would be faith-based. Like I've been in so many situations. If I listen, that's a story after I had been in Atlanta for maybe 2 or 3 years. If I told you the story that got me to Atlanta, I mean, right before I left Flint, I had a traumatic event. And it wasn't the event that prompted me to get away from Flint, but it was a nice nudge in the right direction. I almost drowned in the Atlantic Ocean down in West Palm Beach. The undercurrent is fierce. Yeah, man, that's the most scary thing ever. Do you know drowning is the most scariest thing because you're still alive during the whole process until you're not? I know, right? For real, Trini. It would be all that too, cause yeah, but Glenn, we gotta adjust that, because we gotta know that we're dealing with, emotional people who express love mentally, creating covenants earlier and union that are detailed, and women are just better at it. I don't know. Glad you're opening us. It's nice to hear a little about your life. Yeah, I usually keep it kind of, when you talk about relationships though, you have to help people understand that you've examined what's happened in your life and how you've examined it. Like anybody who's not able to discuss the highs and lows of their past and how they got through it and how it benefits everyone else, I think that's the part where you shouldn't, if you can't articulate that, then no, you shouldn't have a conversation about it. I'm not afraid of it. It's the things that made me who I am today. It's those things that I went through that help you appreciate the person I am now. And if you're dope, you won't hold the mistakes about that I made in the past against me. In fact, you'll say, great way to handle it, because it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. Yeah. Once a woman breaks, there's no coming back. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends on that, on the woman. What's up, Linda? I'm doing well. How about you? Yeah. I'm cool like that, though. I'm transparent, Redbone. Like, I be talking about farting and all that pooping and stuff. You got to know I'm just transparent. I'm so cool with me. Like, I'm so cool with being me that I'm okay with that. I was in a relationship with the father of my kids. He emotionally abused me for 10 years every day. Wow. Yeah. Now, some people going to say after the first year allowance, you know what I'm saying, that you have a responsibility to take care of yourself in those situations. And I know it's difficult because other things come into play, but it's a challenge, right? And emotionally, if you don't have people to talk to you to get through it, if you don't have, everybody needs a sounding board, right? Somebody who's not invested. You know what I'm saying? No, Glenn, don't ever think you give way too much. Usually in those situations, you may be giving way too much to the wrong, undeserving people. But if you give what you give to the right person, man, the reciprocation is going to be amazing. So don't let those people put out your fire when it's the flame that you have that's going to get you the girl that you want or the person that you want. A lot of times we do that too, y'all. We make adjustments based off of the failed relationships we had and not consider the investment that the negative people that we had in our lives made. It's not all your fault, although we contribute to it. I don't want to give anybody a pass to escape. Like if you're in a relationship and you say it's all their fault, then you didn't contribute. and you were no, I always ask that because I do get, one of the coolest things I get is to hear about people's relationships when we do the one-on-one consultations. And I'd be like, okay, so what did you do? Right? Because if you didn't do anything, then I will assume that you were not a part of the relationship. And if you're not a part of the relationship, then you understand why these things have happened to you. You know what I mean? Never change who God has had you be. Most people don't know who that is, though, Brown Sugar. Like, honestly, there are more people searching for who they think they are than being who they are. There you go, GA. And then listen, and I want you to understand, like, there are no mistakes on when you do what you do. Icy, for you to be where you were at for 10 years, there was a lesson in it. There was something that you were supposed to learn, and I'm sure you've learned it. And there's something that you've got to, that you get to carry with you that makes you better as you move forward. Just don't hold that behavior from that individual against somebody else who doesn't live or breathe or do the things that he did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Glenn, if you don't smoke, it depends, right? But I would ask you, why would you make that a negotiation point when you know that from the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that I think about. Like, what are we going to negotiate even from the top of the game? If you got to make a lot of negotiations or compromises at the top of the game, you're tweaking for the wrong person. Like, you're tweaking for the wrong person. Like, there's no way you should jump in a relationship and then you stop eating red meat because this person say they don't eat red meat. We ain't doing that. Too soon. If anything, a great relationship where opposites attract are when they understand that they're opposite and they're able to bring those opposites to the middle. I tell people how, like, relationships, unfortunately, are pendulum swings, right? Either the pendulum swings more on your side because you're more invested, or on the other side, right? Very seldom does it just swing in the middle where there's little to compromise because y'all are understanding each other. So when it swings wide one way or another, you have to be patient and understand. And let the person understand that you recognize, I know you're over here with yours and I'm over here with mine. How can we make that work for us? You know, and in the beginning, they should be apart. In the beginning, your pendulum should swing wide, right? So that you can see what it is about that person that's special and maybe adopt or adapt or enjoy some of that opposite stuff that you're not naturally used to doing. But a lot of times our pride and our stubbornness gets in the way. We don't get to accept the person in their fullness. We're already asking them to negotiate. They're a person, hey, I'm an outdoors person, man. Yeah, well, I'm outdoorsy sometimes. I don't hang out. That's a red flag. How are you going to allow somebody to move you from something that you enjoy doing? You're a bike rider. You're a rock climber. You're an outdoorsy person. You play soccer. You do all these things outdoors, and then you wrap yourself around somebody who is a homebody because you're convinced they're going to give in to what you want to do. And they'll even tell you that, yeah, I want to get out more, da-da-da-da. But they don't. People will tell you what you want to hear. I will tell y'all to try to err to how a person acts. Go off of what they do, man. Yeah, it's all good, Gaston. We're going to do this. I don't know how often we'll do relationship talk, but we're going to do it, you know, I think next week, Thursday at least. And if the community calls for it, we'll jump on and do it again another night. But yeah, you have a good night, man. He said his Trey song voice. Yeah, you're trying to fit a square into a circle. And that's a common occurrence. That ain't even nothing lightweight. You're supposed to meet a person that's opposite of you. That's the attractive factor, because they possess the pieces of your life that you don't possess. They fill in all the blanks. The problem is you meet somebody who's opposite from you and they're trying to fill in all the blanks and you like covering all the blanks. No, I don't want to do that. No, I ain't. Not knowing that those things that person brings to the table will enrich you beyond measure. They'll fill in the gaps, and as those gaps start getting filled, you realize, I'm really living now. Who knew? You know? Because so Glenn, a majority of things that people want, I know there's like love languages and all that, but regardless of all that, people want time. They want to spend time with you. Um, and there's this women get more accomplished faster than men when they're in the workplace. Men are always trying to achieve, beyond what they already have, and women can get to a place and say, I'm cool, I'm good right here. If I maintain this, I can have the life that I want. And that allows them freedom and, perceived freedom. That allows them to say, hey, you know what? I got time and I want to give it to somebody, but I need that somebody I want to give it to be around. And typically, it's funny, a woman will meet a guy at a point where he has an exponential amount of time, or he'll be making the time to build a relationship. What's up, Savannah? And as they're making the time to build a relationship, they're putting up a false precedent that they can't keep up with. Yeah, Gerald, exactly. Work to live, don't live to work. But men in that position will work, and after they've got you, after the deal is done, after they spent enough quality time for you to say, let's kick it intimately, then, work becomes a priority again. And unfortunately, that makes you feel a certain kind of way because you feel like I've heard this numerous times where they be like, oh, he only after one thing. I would hope that, when a woman has said it to me, when he's like, oh, you only want one thing, I said, no, I want more than one thing. But don't think I don't want to have sex. Like, don't think that's not on the table. All right, unlimited. Like I think if there was some honesty about it, then everybody would say, listen, if you are having a conversation with somebody that you don't want to be intimate with, you're talking to the wrong person. Period. And if that person is trying to clown you for that being part of what you want out of the relationship, then they tripping. Yeah, that's tough, Trini. And he has a right to say that because, again, he's probably at a place where he has time to spend with somebody and is trying to find that somebody to spend it with. Like it's crazy. It's crazy that, everybody has their specifications or whatnot. There are some deal breakers. Time is a deal breaker for mostly everybody, but we all break that. We all do what's necessary in the beginning. We all spend this ridiculous amount of time with somebody to make them fall in love with you. Then when they fall in love with you and y'all doing the boyfriend-girlfriend thing, y'all done hooked up a few times, y'all been intimate and all that kind of stuff, then you resort back to the real truth is you got a job and the job is requiring some, what it requires from you. And yeah, man, they're going to know your schedule from the go. And most people think they can handle anything. Everybody says they're, all right, Redbone, get some sleep. Yep. People feel like they can manage it and they can't. This is why I keep saying, like, we got to do better at being honest with ourselves. And I think when we do, you're going to run into some people who really can do that. How long would you wait for someone to be intimate with? Diana, it's not about waiting, right? Especially if they feel the same way you do. Like I've always resented the girl who has a time schedule on intimacy. I've always resented them. I really have. And even though I've waited it out, I've carried that resentment into the relationship and been like, you made me wait for this. I've actually felt like that before. You held out on me and the sex was kind of just okay. You tripping. That's not a metric I think anybody should put on a relationship. A timed metric on a relationship, on being intimate, I mean. Intimacy is supposed to be passion fruit. Like intimacy is supposed to be something that you get stirred up. You know what I'm saying? You get stirred up to do it. You have a desire. That's the word of the night, desire. How can you, and why would you ever turn off the desire that you have for somebody that you want to be with? What about celibacy? I think it's important for somebody who feels like they can't. Celibacy to me is for people who, when they're going to be intimate, right, that they can't control the serious part about intimacy, which is how are you going to handle that you don't have control of what happens after you're intimate with somebody. That's the part where people get, feel some kind of way, is that they want to be in control of the intimacy. Man, I just want to be loved. I don't care about controlling nothing. Just want me. One of the coolest things is to have a woman that desires you and isn't afraid to show you. Man, reciprocating with her is easy. I think that you'll know who to make wait, Icy. I think that your intuition should guide you, and you should use it based off of past experience. Your intuition should be the guide that tells you there. And here's the thing, because a lot of us don't know how our intuition is into what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, and doesn't know what we're being told or how it's supposed to speak to us, then we'll make some bad choices. Or they only become bad choices based off of how you perceive what's supposed to happen afterwards. Oh, we were intimate, now you're supposed to love me. Oh, we were intimate, now we go together. You were intimate, now you got to call me every day for the next week or for 2 weeks. Those things happen when you're intimate with somebody. You put these false expectations versus saying, we were intimate, I had a great time. And leave it at that. I think one of the ways that I've won at it is, no, it ain't about being easy or giving it up, so whatever, because that's an immature way of thinking, and hopefully you made a good decision not to deal with somebody who's immature. But I've never had an expectation after being intimate. I've always told a girl, one-night stands aren't up to me. A one-night stand if I can't have a one-night stand because I've already made the choice that I liked you enough to be with you more than one night. The one night that we're having right now is just the start of it. And we got the intimacy out of the way, so we know that we can move freely together, not having that hanging over our head. Yeah, listen, if you've chosen to be celibate, then absolutely you're going to also have to find that person who truly is on that journey, because some men will tell you they're on that journey and then be trying you along the way. They'll get intimate with your mind. And everybody knows this. Listen, most guys who are really in tune understand that it's not your body that's the prize. It's not the sex that's the prize. The prize is your mind. If I live rent-free in your head, you'll give me the body. You'll give me everything else. But most guys don't think in that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the intellect to do that. They've not managed to have the conversation or the wherewithal to understand that about relationships. Most women want sapiosexual relationships first. And they will have made love to you in their mind 100 times before you've actually ever touched or seen that special place. So when you think about that, ladies, when you think about most men can't carry the conversation to do that, it's usually a vanity metrics that you have your eyes fixated on that allows the next steps to be taken. You undermine at times the very thing that is your sweet spot, which is your intellect. You negate the fact that this person didn't massage your mind in such a way that it made every other part of your body weak for them. Yep. You make up a whole different story based off of vanity metrics versus off of how somebody's moving and talking to you. But again, actions are everything. If in that person's presence you're losing it and you can't help but be with them, then that's what you do. And Diana, you don't have to, like, when you say guys say, oh, she was easy, she gave it up fast. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. If a guy ever said that, I'd be like, you stupid, bro. Like, you're stupid. You found somebody who trusted you enough to be with you, and you played yourself by disrespecting her. That's the maturity level that every man should want. That's right, Trini. That's the other side of it. Men who don't value themselves and try to say that about a woman don't realize, like, yo, you was involved too. What if she was off telling her friends, nah, he the easy dude. He's an easy hit. You can get him easy. You ain't got to say much to him. Just show him your legs and he open. I'm not that. I'm not easy. I don't think anybody who knows themselves and knows their self-worth or can manage their mental capacity correctly. No, you gotta capture this in such a way, you know what I'm saying, that the body and everything else follows. All right, Ice, you get some sleep. Listen, actually, we all gonna turn in for a minute, man. I think tonight we just needed something different, and I think that we'll do Thursday nights where we can just have a dialogue about relationships and whatnot. And I have contacted with a woman and never took the next step. I mean, that happens, Glenn. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessary to take the next steps. And some relationships don't end up in that place. Some relationships are friendships on the making. And you know what I'm saying? You go in, Glenn, with no expectations and you'll win, bro. Diana said, I feel like they be telling their friends that. Do you hear how crazy that sounds, Diana? Like, you feel like they're saying something that you will never, ever know. Diana, you cannot be so paranoid. You know, I was with, Diana was, we was together. And Diana was so paranoid that when we was watching the Super Bowl and they got in the huddle, she thought they was talking about her. I'm joking, Diana. You know I'm messing with you. Me and Diana has never met, but I thought that was funny. I'm sorry. So that's Kim. Okay, that's the name we're going to go with, Tantalizing Thursdays. Kim, y'all don't understand. Kim was busting out all kind of names for tonight. She had a whole bunch of nights. So if y'all think Tantalizing Thursdays is cool, that's what we're going to name after Triumphant Thursdays. When it turns nighttime, we're going to change it to Tantalizing Thursdays. What do y'all think? I know you will, Savannah. No, it's a joke. It's a joke. I've told that joke on stage before about paranoia, about insecurity. Be like, oh, you know what? She's so paranoid that when they got in the huddle, she thought they was talking about her. Y'all can use that too if y'all want. Use that with your significant other when they start tripping. You're like, you so paranoid? I bet you think when they get in the huddle on the basketball court that they talking about you. Football works better, you know what I'm saying, because they always huddle up. But you could do basketball too because they take timeouts and talk. So, but listen, yeah, I enjoy, sharing. In the future, I want to share the stage on nights like tonight. So y'all be dressed to impress. I'm cracking you up. Yeah, man. I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. Yeah. These are the moments that I think, listen, we all got to cherish these moments, these intimate moments, because as we continue, if this is the start and we've had a great group of people in here, how can I support? Glenn, you can follow me on YouTube and subscribe and become a member. You can, I don't know what kind of support you want to do outside of liking and sharing on this platform. You can, when I usually have a live goal, you could do the gift on the live goal, or you can tip on YouTube. You can Cash App on here. It's so many different ways. When you say how can I support, but those are all the many ways. I posted my temple tours on TikTok for you. That's what's up. Yeah, I saw the water joints that you did. Those are dope. That's what's up. I appreciate that, Glenn. It's appreciated, not necessary, but I definitely appreciate it. This will be, let me see. I'll pull this up for you right quick. So this is how, let me see. If you're going to do any of that stuff, Cash App or Venmo, that's one way right there. I'll leave that up for a second. I was looking for the membership on YouTube, but I didn't see it. I am a subscriber though. Just Jira, if you look underneath my, like the screen where it's broadcasting, it says become a member underneath there if you aren't already. But subscribing is dope. Make sure you turn on notifications too. I appreciate that big time. And hopefully if you guys are on the live, you hit the like button, the thumbs up or whatnot. That always is a good look too. And I appreciate that. But I know we're going to have this conversation more often. I think it's necessary that we just spend some time and we break down some of these, some of these misnomers and give some insight into each other. You know what I mean? So like I said, in the future, I'm going to share the stage with some people. I've been reaching out to a couple friends, some doctors, and some other people to see if they're on TikTok or if they'll join me on YouTube to help broaden the conversation from a, I speak mostly from layman terms. I just have dissected a lot of those medical thoughts and terms and things that from that level that they think of, and just speak from experience and from what we deal with on a regular basis. It's more relatable, but to have that other opinion as well helps double down on a lot of things, but it also gives us a discourse that's needed from what these clinical specialists are saying to what you just know is naturally working for you. I think they need the insight as well to hear the conversation in a peripheral point of view. A lot of times they don't get that. Also, if you guys want to shoot the conversation one-on-one, you go to that website right there at the bottom where it says yoursocialdigitalcurrency.com. There's a booking button. If you hit the book button, then we can chop it up and spend 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or whatever, an hour, whatever you need to just kind of break down your situation. Because a lot of times these platforms are designed to be very general because so many people attend the session, and you don't want to take away from a general conversation to get into somebody's personal conversation unless they want to. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it could be a dynamically good look, to do case study live, you know what I'm saying, to talk to somebody who's dealing with something and break down what's going on. Like, I really would enjoy doing that. So I may also be searching for people. I might put some out was like, hey, would love to discuss your current relationship. If it's good, bad, or otherwise, I want to talk about, if it's good, then what are the things that you do to keep it that way? And if it's on the rocks, like what got you to on the rocks? You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot for us to dissect and to learn about one another by hearing other people's experiences, and then also hearing what approach could have been different. You can hear how they own it or disown it. I think all those things are going to be gigantic in our approach to finding the truth, you know what I'm saying, and developing a path. And that's all we're doing is laying down the groundwork right now for a path for people to look at things and how they should move and things like that. We're just making a path. And if we get it right, a lot of people will walk on that path and they'll have some success. With that being said, man, I don't even know what that means, Royal. Somebody else typed that to me today, and I had no idea what that meant. But with that being said, I want to get some Z's so that we can be up tomorrow and hit this apple cider vinegar. I want to rest my voice a little bit. It's getting a little raspy from talking so much. So I got to manage to not talk as much when I'm not on here talking. So I can have a fluid conversation and feel great about it when I'm doing it. I made some adjustments to the microphone so it sounds more natural like my voice, but I literally have told myself I'm going to have to start doing vocal warm-ups. Diane said, my dad is grown and he is always telling me stories about the people at his work, how the men talk hella crap of the easy women. That's why he be telling me to be careful. Diane, let me tell you something. Those that know don't tell, and those that don't tell don't know. Think about that. Those that tell don't know. And those that know don't tell. So Diana, when they're talking about all this easy woman stuff, I wouldn't put so much faith in that. I wouldn't put much stock in that. Real men don't talk. Because they understand if it was amazing, if it was everything that they thought it would be, you don't want to let nobody in on that treasure. I would love to tell y'all that there's a story that goes along with that, but we'll do that for another time. Remind me to tell y'all the story of my boy Ryan, who went to the military and came back a Muslim. Remind me to have that story. It was one of the most profound stories, one of the most profound conversations I've ever had, and I carry it with me as a lesson. And when I talk to y'all about it, y'all gonna be like, wow, just wow. It's that profound what he said to me, and it's one of those things that you carry with you now. Like he said something, and it's forever changed how I approach, discussing certain things. So remind me of that. Write it down or something, because it's gonna, and we may be a week away from having another conversation. But I'll let y'all decide, man. If during the lives, during the daytime or something like that, y'all like, yo, I got a lot of stuff, I want to talk about, blah blah blah. Maybe we'll do it. No, Diane, I gotta get some sleep, woman. She said, "Tell us now, girl. Stop." All right, yeah, I'm gonna rest my voice and get some sleep, man. We've been on for how long have we been on? For 1 hour and 40 minutes, y'all. Normally we do 2 hours, 2.5, but like I am kind of, I've been on a lot today. So, I gave y'all the best of me. So I'm gonna let the bed get the rest of me. How about that? I'll see y'all in the morning. I'm gonna log off of my live here. I'll see y'all in the morning, y'all. Get some sleep, get some rest, fast. Make sure you're fasting and sleep. I know my body's gonna enter this fast, and I'm excited about that. Tomorrow night, story time. Tanya trying to do it again. Maybe. Let's see. I might have a meeting tomorrow night. It just depends. They want to meet, but they're gonna have to. Yeah, good night, champs. And Skrapp Nation, that's what we got, Jira. Skrapp Nation. Okay, I like it. All right, Skrapp Nation. This is not good night. This is not goodbye. This is a good night and to be continued. All right, y'all. Good night, everybody.